I had quite the fun weekend. Still recovering from it. It's St. Patrick's Day. It's a wonderful holiday that brings out a lot of drinkers and people with problems. And I ended up getting involved with a fight on accident, and my eardrum was ruptured, and I lost hearing in my left ear after getting clocked in the face. It was quite the disaster. Okay, it was quite the mess. I ended up spending it in the hospital, and I'm still having issues, and hopefully, after I see the ear, nose, throat doctor, this is going to get under control a little bit better, but I will never, ever, ever go out again on St. Patrick's Day. I did have a great time during the start of it, and this is the second bad experience on St. Patrick's Day I had. My ex actually fell down a flight of stairs at a bar we used to own called 220 in Buffalo. And what happened at the bar, he ended up bleeding to death and ended up with 15 staples in his head. Now I can hear it. 15 staples in his head, and it was just really crazy that I had to deal with that. And then he kept trying to leave because he was so intoxicated from the hospital that it was a mess. So that's two really bad St. Patrick's Day experiences that I shall never ever allow to occur again, because I'm just gonna stay in a box. Those amateur drinking nights are bad, and it's wasn't a fan, but it doesn't make sense to punch a woman in the face, even if it's on accident, when you're in a bar loaded with drunk men and everyone. It was really chaotic, and I'm not even sure what happened because I couldn't see, but I'm sure you've experienced a lot of interesting fights before.
Yeah, I try to stay out of amateur hours. Like, you would not see me go out night before Thanksgiving or New Year's or any of these things anymore. Yeah. But yeah, as a dancer, we're often targeted just for being a dancer. And I had a situation outside of a bar in Buffalo where it was a 3-on-1 on me. And just because I was a dancer and I was hanging out with a girl, and we were playing darts, and we go to leave or whatever, and they steal her jacket.
Yeah.
So we leave just to mess with us. So we come back to get her jacket. They kind of corner me and start, talking trash. And it was like a 3-on-1 situation. So I had my brass knucks on me just in case. And they kept it up, and they cornered me. Finally, I just kind of pushed it away, and it was on. And I remember I was had one guy in a headlock, and I was throwing punches. And even though I was kind of buzzing and getting punched from the side, I knew it was 3-on-1. I knew I was going to take some shots. So in my mind, I was going to try to inflict as much harm as I could on the guy I had in the headlock.
Yeah.
But it was a big mess. And it was all because I didn't even know these guys. It was because I was a dancer. They were jealous. They didn't like me. I'm hanging out with this whatever.
Yeah.
So it gets all separated, whatever. Then the cops come and people come. And then all of a sudden people at the bar, some girl at the bar, they changed it that I pushed some girl. Or it was like completely fabricated. I'd never seen anything like it in my life. And so I was obviously pretty upset.
Was it around the time that cameras weren't really in a lot of the
clubs
also?
Yeah.
So that makes it even harder to prove. Honestly,
this is like a good while ago. I'm thinking 8 years ago.
Yeah,
a while. So it became this huge thing, and it was just a absolute mess. Just again because I was a dancer, just playing darts with a girl that they used to like.
Yeah, like mine was unfounded. I actually was 100% sober, and everyone knew it. So I'm drinking water the whole time. I know I didn't agitate anyone. In all honesty, if I was drinking, I would have been on top of the bar dancing with all my friends. If everyone looks at my Facebook, you'll see it. They were having a riot, and I know myself personally, and I would have joined in, and I would have been up there instead of being on the floor. I think the man maybe was trying to fight someone else, because it would make sense if it was a girl trying to fight me, because maybe I bumped her boyfriend or something like that. Just, I don't even know who it was. I don't even understand what happened. Then everyone was just screaming, run, the police are coming. And it was really chaotic. I'm never going to go out on St. Patrick's Day again, but right now going on in Buffalo is their parade, and all those idiots are all out. And, so be careful and be safe out there, because there's a lot of people who don't know how to handle their liquor. and they start drinking at like 6 in the morning. And some of these people might have been drinking for the past 3 days in a row. Because you know how they are like that. So it's unexpected surprises that occur. We're behind because actually my ear has created a lot of problems and I haven't been quite on top. So a little behind by 10 minutes today, which I apologize. But, you know, life happens. And I am coming from Buffalo. I'm permanently attempting to move to Rochester, but I keep having issues where I have to keep going back to Buffalo for court and stupid stuff, dealing with my amazingly wonderful divorce that just seems to not end. But for the first song that we have you selected is Joan Jett, Do You Want to Touch Me? So we're going to go into that and play it. Welcome back Beyond the Pole. And this week upcoming on Saturday at Playmates is their Sexy Superhero Party. My company is actually helped sponsoring it. I just put a store inside of it. We got prizes for male customer, female customer, and the dancer. It's going to be a lot of fun. I wasn't sure what I was going to be. And I'm being a little lazy this year because it's just very stressful. So I found a Wonder Woman outfit at the Lion's Den in Ripley, PA. And I'm going to glue sequins all over it and make it more Wonder Woman. It was kind of very generic, but I lucked out that it was on clearance for $5. So you probably don't want to do Wonder Woman. And I realized that
I have Wonder Woman.
You know, that would be funny. I realized that I don't want to, I didn't want to have like the best costume because that's ridiculous. And like to win the own prize myself, and then you know that's not really right. And I am one of those people who sew, but I would love to see someone actually do poison ivy. It wouldn't be hard. You can just buy leaves and glue it all over an outfit. It's only for one night. It's not like it's hard. And I thought, you know what, I shouldn't do that because then I got to buy a red hair wig, and it's such a hassle. And I didn't want to do Harley Quinn because it's so overdone.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's easy, but you know, it's boring, and I never really been a fan of her. So I'm actually excited because I've done a whole bunch of these and they were very successful in other clubs, but my former partner wouldn't allow me to actually dress up or do anything fun and kept saying I needed attention. And so I actually get to do this and I'm excited. So yay. It's going to be a good time. And they're really nice prizes. Each one's worth well over $100 in adult products. And I started putting some pictures online and I'll have the rest all done. And they will be in the club by Wednesday, so you can have a sneak peek. I will be up at the club on Wednesday dropping off a bunch of merchandise. And, you know, I have a lot of friends and customers up there. I love the owner, Katie. And, you know, I'll just be up there if you want to talk about the show or discuss anything free. You know, I'm there. So my mom decided after we had issues with the roof in the giant windstorm that occurred in Rochester, which is way more devastating than what actually occurred in Buffalo, that she was going to aggressively go through everything we have ever had in our lives. And I mean, every baby outfit, every toy, everything you could think of. She clearly was a hoarder. There's like hundreds and hundreds of tubs. And at the time that we moved, because my grandmother was very sick and we wanted to have constant care and take care of her and not put her in a nursing home, was Christmas time. So all the tubs are red and green. So there was no telling what it was, and no one just felt like dealing with this thing until we are forced. My sister has the opposite personality where she's like, throw it all out. I don't want any of it. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at mine. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like the 40-year-old version of vintage collectibles of the 80s in mint condition in the boxes and everything. But the thing I'm most excited about is I found all of my college textbooks, all of my class stuff, and everything from University at Buffalo. I do have my master's from there, and I'm very excited because I did do my BAMSW. So I have so much stuff that I can use for the show, and I didn't have a chance to go through it all, but I managed to find the critical incident stress information sheet and from Life Transition Centers on Harlem Road, guidelines on reporting child abuse and neglect, which I definitely will address later. We're short on time, probably not today, but another thing, because for some odd reason, dancers think it's fun to vindictively toy with each other and call CPS on each other and play games, which I'm sure you've heard of also, Bailey, and you're wasting CPS's time. There's a lot of people who actually need help, and it shouldn't be just because you're mad at some girl because she slept with your boyfriend or something. Do you have any opinion on that? Or I'm sure you know someone who's done that.
The men play different games.
Yeah.
Usually it's not so much.
I mean,
with
more
the
like
kids.
the dancers and stuff that you bounced or.
Yeah.
Or even girls calling on guys who didn't do anything wrong, just, to toy with them. And it's kind of ridiculous. And you really shouldn't do that. It's not right at all.
Yeah, waste of people's time. You shouldn't be reporting on people's kids, especially if stuff's not true.
Exactly.
Because CPS is very overworked anyway.
They're and social workers have the highest rate of burnout because they're not paid as much, and you get so much work dumped on you. And it's the same with a lot of people in prison systems. And sometimes errors occur, and they can't get to the right people, and it's not right. And I'm not the biggest fan of the foster care system. And I know we definitely need improvement because I know way too many dancers, and it's a frightening amount, 1 in 4. And I'm saying it's not all of us that were molested or abused or something horrific happened to their kids while they were in it. And, that's another issue that I think needs to be addressed, that we need to stop a lot of the stigmas. So that was neat. I know you came prepared with some different stuff, and I know you had a rough week. Why don't you talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, I had a bad week with my depression. And I think when I look back, it started because I had a great week last weekend. I went and saw Trinity Turner Friday night, at Trist. Had a few drinks. It was fun. Danced and bounced a stag. And then Saturday, did another stag, had a few drinks. And then, I don't know, during the week, I just started to get one of my depression crashes, probably because I was too hyped up. And just some legal stuff coming up with some cheddar owed to me and some issues and the health insurance issues and a bunch of issues. And what made me feel bad is I had a set up on St. Patrick's Day on Friday, Green Beer Tecmo Bowl tournament. What Tecmo Bowl is, it's an old... A lot of people may not be familiar. It's
I'm
old,
not sure what it is.
Yeah, you don't, but he's smiling back there. It's like a 1990 Nintendo game. It was the first Nintendo game that had the second original Tecmo Bowl had them too, but Super Tecmo Bowl had the whole Bills roster. Okay.
Oh, that's why it was
Thurman
sports
Thomas
related.
and all
That's
those.
right.
So it's
Okay.
got really the whole league. Well, it's like a vintage game. It kept stats. Well, there's a cult following. There's big tournaments in that. We run one in Buffalo alone, my friend does. He's in his 5th year. There's a huge tournament, the National Championship in Madison, Wisconsin, where they get 320 people doing this. So I was going to do a mini tournament at my house. So I had planned. I had about 6 people that were actually going to come. I was making my own wooden Lombardi trophies. And unfortunately, my depression and everything got so bad that I slept most of the day Thursday. I was hoping to just snap out of it. And I couldn't snap out of it Friday, and I knew I had to get up, and I was having anxiety. I needed to clean the house, get snacks for the guys, and I wanted to hit the gym and finish the trophy, and I just didn't want to be around anybody. And so I texted the guys, and I unfortunately canceled, and I feel terrible about it, and I feel horrible about it now, but I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't leave the house, couldn't do much. I finally, at 10 o'clock at night, or 9 o'clock, left the house and went to the gym.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for canceling it. The moral lesson of some of it, and one of the biggest things that helped me and for anybody struggling with depression, is to try to force yourself to do stuff. The problem is I've been having to force myself to do almost everything, and after a while, it gets hard. Now, luckily, I've never missed a gig because I can always... No matter what state of mind, and I can always get, because I got women and people depending on me.
Yeah, and you probably enjoy your job actually where you want to do it.
And I knew I didn't enjoy the Tecmo. I think I was just wigged out that I still had to clean the kitchen, even though it's my buddies and they don't care. I have pride.
Yeah.
I don't want people over and I got dirty dishes and crap out. And I felt bad, but the nice thing was my friends were supportive. They know I battled depression and was going through some stuff. And I think one of the culprits during the week, to be honest, another thing I'm going to try to cut out of my diet was I think I had too many artificial sweeteners. I can't have sugar because that causes inflammation in the brain and gives me major depression crashes. But I think I had too many low-carb energy drinks and coffee with Splenda and Equal.
Yeah.
And it amped me up, and I think that helped, it just kind of triggered some effect. So I might, starting as of tomorrow, be cutting the coffee out too and pretty much everything. It's but one ththing I'll just to end this story, my friends were supportive and it's
That's
best
great.
to be
That's what you need.
supportive. They weren't like, oh, you jerk. you know.
No, they understood
but
because they know you
understood.
struggle with it, and that's why
Yeah.
they're your real
And
friends.
I felt bad though because I don't like when I commit to stuff. I honor my commitments, you know. And if I'm not sure, I say like maybe. And I felt bad, so we'll redo the tournament probably sometime in the spring.
Yeah.
You know, and get one going. And I felt bad, but I appreciate all my friends who definitely supported me on it. We're cool with it, you know.
Yeah, you know, I'm actually a big Magic the Gathering player, and I actually go to the tournaments, and it turned into playing Clash Royale, which is this game on the, you can use it as an app, and I somehow am number 12 in the entire country, and I'm probably playing with 8-year-olds for all I know. It was 24
I
hours.
never played
It's kind
that.
of embarrassing that I sit there for hours playing it. It's, I'm hooked on it, and at one point I got mad at myself because I spent like $300 on buying fancy cards and stuff. And I was like, to get the better ones, not on the Magic, but on the Clash Royale, and it's literally like an internet app. But I like this. There's a show that is also part of the team that we work with, and it's called Mindful Rochester. And Peter runs a show. And Peter, you need to start posting more on your Facebook page. But he has this great one. He put Great Dream and his 10 keys to happier living. And I shared it on Cat's Meow Cares. It's KATSMEOWKARES. My name's Katrina, spelled with a K, so I use a lot of K's instead, but it's great, and it's about giving, doing things for others, relating, connect to people, exercising, taking care of your body. That's exactly what you said helps you feel better. Appreciating, notice the world around you, trying out, keep learning new things, direction, have goals to look forward to. I think everyone needs a goal, be it short-term or long-term. If you can't handle the long-term, give yourself a short-term goal. Resilience, ways to bounce back. Emotion, take a positive approach. Acceptance, be comfortable with who you are. And meaning, be part of something bigger. And I try to live like that as a whole every day in my life. And I think everyone should. I found this song, which I don't know if anyone's ever heard of, and you probably never did either. And it's so random. I was looking for something else. It's actually Peter, Paul, and Mary, you know, like Puff the Magic Dragon. And it's called Don't Laugh at Me. And it's really different. And it's got a lot of meaning. And I really like it. And we're going to cut into that next. Welcome back to Beyond the Pole. I'm your host, Katrina Lee. You've seen me in Hustler, Jerry Springer, actually well over 100 magazines, Cherry Gallery. I like to make my parents proud, you know, but on the other hand, I also have degrees and, you know, I'm pretty self-sufficient, so I don't do anything that bad, so they can't really hate me. You know, I want to remind everyone else also about our More Than a Pretty Face campaign. We're collecting hygiene and makeup products and giving them to women's centers and prison outreach programs so they can have help covering bruises, self-esteem, empower them for, you know, job interviews and, you know, help people get on their feet and addicts a lot easier. I've never been a big fan of drug court, the way they work, that they just throw these addicts in jail back and forth and they get out like a week or something later and end up using or relapsing because they end up falling behind on the money and all the pressure. And a lot of prisons, I think, especially with dancers I've seen who have gone in for drug addictions, they just release them. They're not helping them get life skills. So they're going right back to the same customers and they're going right back to the same vices at the clubs trying to get money and fix their lives, and they're overdosing. And I think it's really important to have more of these outreach programs that help them get jobs and stuff, and a decent job, or help you get education. And I'm all about it 100%. And I can't see why anyone else wouldn't be. The quote of the week I picked is, I always say shopping is cheaper than a psychiatrist, by Tammy Faye Baker. And normally I would say that, but right now I don't have health insurance. I should have it back up by next week, and it's definitely not cheaper. My hospital visit was probably $4,000. That was just wonderful. And I'm looking forward to paying at least $300-400 the ear doctor this week, and my medicine is now $900 a month. So, woo! I love all my new expensive overhead. You know, I just couldn't ask for anything more. But that Peter, Paul, and Mary song is very old, obviously, but I'm amazed that it touches on so many topics on homosexuality, and my best friend Brad's gay, and all this stuff, which were really shaky back in the day, and that it was so bold. But that's probably also why a lot of people never heard of it. And I just think it's wonderful. Like, don't laugh at me. And it's all about, like, you shouldn't laugh at people with mental illnesses. You shouldn't laugh as a whole. You shouldn't hurt or harm anyone because it's wrong and it's not something to do. But there's a lot of people struggling out there, and people don't understand their stories, and there's difference. They might smile and they really need help and hurt. And it's the same how I feel with you. Like, I think it's cruel that people are laughing at your struggling thing with addiction and what happened with your former job and everything. And it's not right. And I think it's just a really powerful, strong song that I absolutely love. Anything?
Yeah, random acts of kindness is one thing that helps me when I have depression and I have stuff going on. And you know what? There's a lot more people out there that have anxiety and depression. Almost everybody has something going on. So if you just be kind to people in any way, even if you just smile and say hi to someone, which is harder for me to do than dancing naked on stage in front of 5,000 people. I have an easier time doing that than just saying hi to someone on the street. But stuff like that does help. Zeus bridges the gap with that. Whenever I take him out, I know a bunch of old ladies or anybody, really, kids or people are going to come up and ask him his name and what kind of dog and how old and say how cute he is and like his jersey. So it puts a smile on everybody's face.
Yeah, no, I just literally got out of a very horrifying psychopathic relationship, and it's continued on and on in court with legal matters and all this stuff. And it's getting quite ridiculous to joke, but I know I'm innocent. So I just keep taking hit for hit for hit. But I found this awesome. There's a site, it's called Narcissistic Quotes, and I shared it on Beyond the Pole, which is our Facebook page. And it's also, I shared it on the Cats Meow Cares page. And it says, I just thought this is amazing. Ladies who are targeted and abused, you're very beautiful in every way. Your abusers know they are worthless and use you as compensation for their insecurities. Gentlemen who are in love with your hurtful partners, you are handsome and you have big hearts, and they knew they could get anything from you because of your amazing quality. For everyone who is a victim out there, take all those painful actions towards your rather as a compliment and embrace your scars, for they only prove how strong, wonderful, and powerful you are. Love yourselves. You come first in life. Treat yourself with care. You don't have to be forgiven all the time. No point to ever look back. You deserve so much goodness and love out there. And I just think that's incredible, because it's not only females who get abused, it's men. And there's just a lot of people out there hurting, and they stay in these relationships because they don't understand what's going on, or they're afraid of what's going to occur. But there's a lot of really helpful people, including myself, out there who are willing to go out on a limb and make a difference. And I know you're one of those people also. And I just think that's just amazing. And I'm really happy with that quote. And you can check it out again. It's on Beyond the Pole Radio, and it's also on Cats Meow Cares with K's. That was pretty cool. I also have another song now because we're going quicker, but I picked this one. I guess a lot of people never heard of it. I'm a big Poe fan, and it's called Angry Johnny, and I used to dance to it a lot. I really like it, and I know a lot of girls did too, and they had a big following and stuff. So let's go on to that.
Welcome back to Beyond the Pole. This is Bailey with Katrina Lee and Zeus, the dog co-host. So I have an interesting story for this week that also set off my depression, having to do with Facebook. And
everyone loves Facebook.
Yep. And this Facebook friend request I got was a little bit creepy. It was from an unborn fetus. and if you know me, you know I'm actually anti-kid. I've had a vasectomy since I'm 27. It's not that I don't like kids. I like kids, but you
just don't want one.
Yeah. I just don't.
It'd probably be hard with depression having to deal with the child in the first place. Also,
exactly. So I get this Facebook request of an unborn fetus. All there is in the picture is an ultrasound. There are 20 friends. I don't know any of them. No mutual friends. I was just on one of my Facebook pages. I don't have kids, one of my groups. So I correlated it's someone from one of my groups trying to mess with me. I'm like, what the heck? Why would someone send this request? So I wrote on the page, I said, to the fetus, I said, why, you know, because they had a comment that said, halfway there, can't wait to meet my mommy and daddy. So my question to the fetus was, why would you send a Facebook request to an anti-kid person who had a vasectomy? I'm confused. Well, their response then was even more creepier and said, you'll live. That was it. So so now I'm kind of angry at this point. I'm getting kind of pissed. Like, this isn't cool. So of course I was like, that's really not cool. So I do a meme of the kid at Walmart screaming and crying, and then it says, you know, it's like a meme just for the lady at Walmart with the crying carry-on kid. The condoms in your basket are courtesy of me. So I posted that as my comment, and I said, sorry, but that's creepy. Blah blah blah. So I was mad, and so I posted it on my page. I said, you know, this is just ridiculous, and I don't know who did this, and I was hoping it's none of my friends. And it turned out it was some girl, and someone else explained to me. So I ended up blocking them or whatever before it became this big issue. But now, and she had every and it creeped me out. And you got to understand, I get porn spams, fake profiles, and stuff all day long.
Me too.
And now I'm getting from fetuses, and you know what? That profile got reported and shut down. You know, I reported it because, you know what, an unborn fetus doesn't have an identification to prove where they are. So it got yanked. And I felt bad. I mean, I kind of felt bad. So then I did it, and I was just on fire, and I was already in a depression state. I was pissed at women. So then I did a poll. If someone sends you an unborn fetus Facebook request, creepy or not creepy? Well, 37 people said creepy. Of course, I had one female said, who are you to judge? Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, my God. Of course.
And I'm like, who am I to judge? You sent me the request. I'm like, you people judge criminals and pedophiles and people all the time.
Yeah.
You're going to judge. Sorry. And I gave them every opportunity. If the lady would have said, oh, I'm sorry, Bailey, this is so-and-so. It's for my kid, helping the celebration right there. You had your opportunity. I wouldn't have reported the thing, but I didn't know who this was. Someone trying to mess with me. So it became this big Facebook battle with this one girl. Who are you to judge? So then I snapped and fired back, and then, you know, it just was unbelievable. But I was like, people, if you're going to do something like that for your kid or people, that's fine. That's your prerogative. But give your friends the heads up that your unborn fetus, that you're going to be getting, you know,
as a whole, even
request.
if this kid is, going to be, this is his own start of a Facebook page, he shouldn't be requesting someone who's so involved in the adult industry with, like, you know, porn stars and everything on it as a whole, because that's just dumb. I've actually had to catch and halt children from getting on my page. I didn't realize that I did have a 16-year-old who, you know, and a couple other like kids that I had to knock off. So I do catch and I pay attention to it, and I make sure I don't put anything too bad. But I get a lot of inboxes of idiots sending me pictures of their penises, and they're not even that impressive. I'm sorry, I'm in the adult industry. I've seen millions of penises. I write and I review porn. Do you think yours is that good? And I don't know, what is it thrilling? I mean, how would you like it, men, if randomly I was like, here, do you like it? Look at my critter. Do you want it? Do you want it? Like, I mean, what's the point of that? Like, how weird and desperate are you?
I don't understand that logic either. I've never sent a naked shot like that to anytime I've ever sent any naked shots to girls, it's because it was a mutual sexting type thing.
Yeah, it was
not
something
just a
wanted.
random. I don't understand that, and the girls get a lot of that, and I don't understand. You ask a girl out, they say no. Or don't respond, fine. And then they keep asking them and pressuring them and harassing.
Yeah,
I don't
do
understand
it too.
that.
They do it on its
I don't understand
nonstop.
that approach either. How is one? I don't want to ask a girl out more than once. If she's into me, I know I'll ask. If she's into me, then we can go out. If not, why would I want to ask you out 50 times? I'm not a tool, you know.
Yeah.
So you're a tool if you do that. And then intimidating the girl and asking them 16 times and calling them honey and sweetie just pisses them off more. They're not gonna say, oh wait, you know what? Now you've messaged me 800 times. I think I will change my mind and go out with you, Johnny.
Yeah. It seems like a good idea. You seem stable and safe. And how many other girls are you doing this to? And then I'm not the person to put them on spot because almost all these guys are married in the first place. But I mean, there's Backpage, but it's canceled actually. It's now called eroticmonkey.com. So everyone's on there. So don't bother me. You can find your own escorts on your own. You don't need to sit there inboxing people on Facebook like weirdos.
Or I get some random from some person. And they don't even speak proper English in it. They said, I like your person. I'm like, what, do you mean you like me as a person? What person? I don't own another person. What person are you talking about? Then I had these people from Indonesia, all these Indonesian people messaging me, and then they started making fun of parts of my anatomy and stuff, and they were like coming out of the woodwork. So I'm like, I'm not accepting some skinny dude from Indonesia if I don't know you. Leave me alone. Like, it's just nonstop, man.
Yeah, no, I thought, at first I had all these people from Taiwan and everything coming up, but I guess they view me as some superstar out there, and they have my magazine, so they were finding me off there, and they were real people, but I was like, what the heck?
Then send me some money, buy my poster or buy a DVD.
Do something. I have my website, and there's guys that are like, I love it, sending me random tips on there and stuff, and creepy gifts of flowers and things, and I have a separate mailbox. It's not going to my house, it's being delivered somewhere else, so I don't even know what the hell's going on. I don't even answer the emails. I pay someone else to do it because it creeps me out so much, and I'm not really that type of personality. I like making money, and I'm an entrepreneur, but I don't like having to deal with it that way. I have an awesome guy who's a big fan of the show who is going to be coming on, I believe, next week from Dansville, and he's a war veteran. He's got a Bronze Star and a Purple Heart, and he's struggling and suffering with PTSD, and he wants to talk about it. And I know I have issues with PTSD from the domestic abusive relationship, and I know you've had some, so I think this will be a great addition to the show, and I'm excited about it next week. And, the next song I picked is actually why I shouldn't drink when I'm emotional. And it's Blake Shelton, because I love country, The More I Drink. And I'm one of those people that if it's emotional, I will go and somehow drink like a whole bottle of Jaeger and then get on Facebook like an idiot and post away. And I know I can't do that, so I try to put all the stops. So we're going to go into that song. Welcome back to Beyond the Pole. We're going to be on next week at the same time, 5 to 6. It's going to be a great show. We're also on podcasts. So I know a lot of people in Buffalo aren't listening to us right now because you're drunk and at the St. Patrick's Day parade. And I'm not there, and I'm relieved because it's not my favorite holiday anymore. Never was, and I will never go out on amateur nights, including I remember an incident at Pharaoh's when it was Fat Tuesday, and a dancer actually bit the bouncer, and he had to get like literally tetanus shots and all this stuff, and she broke his skin, and it was really crazy, and she hit him with a lamp. So, just those days like are bad, I'm staying out of them from now on, because there's no reason for what occurred. So that is one of my favorite songs. Everyone knows I do like that. And I definitely, like I said, a bad emotional drinker. When I get stressed, keep alcohol away from me. Don't give it to me. For some reason, people give it to me. I'm not getting it on my own. And then I will drink a whole bottle of Jaeger, and then I'll leave all these horrifyingly cryptic messages that I don't realize I'm doing, and then all the surprises start arriving the next day. And that's bad. So I also suggest if you're drinking, stay away from Facebook. Maybe put some app on your phone that you can't get on there and do something, because I've seen people put like, I hate my job, or if you catch your guy cheating on you and you start throwing it all up there and you stay with them and fix it, you start to look a little bit stupid. Again, I want to remind everyone, Playmates is having their sexy superhero party this Saturday. I will be there. I will be Wonder Woman, and I have special gifts for everyone dropping off donations for our campaign, More Than a Pretty Face. Guys, if you don't know how to buy makeup, that's fine. I will pick it up for you, or just donate the money. And I'm also going to be collecting money for Shar Brittany, who was horribly murdered in Rochester in her own liquor store by a parolee who was out. We're releasing butterflies. I already talked to the Strong Museum, and the more money we raise, the more cool things that we can do, including getting animals like really neat chameleons and stuff donated, which is awesome because a lot of people will experience the happiness, and it's a beautiful place and it's great there. I know you want to mention maybe your your website.
Yeah, to hire me, 13-time Entertainer of the Year is BaileyExoticDancer.com. And I do bounce for Extraordinary Entertainment. We got some new girls. Did a fun party last night with a new girl, Jazzy, who also dances at the Body Shop Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays. And Extraordinary Entertainment, and that website is is out there, and
Yeah, I heard the body shop's pretty decent. I know Bristol, who's going to be coming on the show, went down there and she really liked it and had a great time too. So it's not bad. I've heard only good things about working there. I haven't heard anything bad. The same with Trist. And, that's about it, really, on that level. It's been calm. And myself, you can check out my website at Katrina, Katrina Lee, Lee, at Model Central, not Centro, CENTRO.com. And it's also on my modeling Facebook page where there's a lot of fun, naughtier pictures and different events and things I'm involved with. But if you want the full nudes and everything, I'm sorry, guys, you're going to have to pay. And they're pretty good. And I also have a lot of old magazines and current ones and different stuff that I can sell. And I'm going to be appearing in Hustler within 4 months as one of America's sexiest entrepreneurs. And I'm very much so looking forward to that. And we are part of the Armed Forces Radio. And I definitely can't wait till we start going a little bit more on the road or being able to film and like advance and talk to people and do live podcasts, because I want to like go and start supporting our troops and like go to all the Army bases and stuff. And I think that'll be a great time. So don't forget to check out Facebook at RochesterFreeRadio.com and our Twitter page. And thank you for listening and tuning in. And we hope you listen to us next week.